please stand for the pledge of allegiance and a moment of silence. As for a moment of silence, I'd like to remember the family of Mr. Richard Garner, our board member tonight, during the death of his daughter, and we need also just please remember him and his family in the prayers in the coming days. Thank you.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Be seated, please. Do we have a motion to approve the agenda as presented? Motion by Mr. Davis, second by Mr. Burrow. All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. Motion is carried. Do we have any additions to the agenda? Any groups or additions? Next item is our consent agenda. Would anyone like to remove any item so that it might be discussed?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to remove emergency reading policy 6.313, discipline procedures.
Okay. That's the vacant, right, okay. On any other items to be removed? If there's not, do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda with the removal of item E? Motion by Mr. Joyner, second by Mr. Parker. All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. Motion passed. At this time, we have Mr. Tab McDivitt and a group from Covenant High School Hostel. Would y'all come up, please? Well, we're glad to have you all here tonight, and we've had the, right with me here. We had the reading on the vacant tonight, and y'all were very instrumental in getting that for us. And, you know, when y'all gave that presentation, we were just in awe that we didn't know anything about it. We knew a little bits and pieces, but y'all really, y'all made this policy possible, and we really appreciate it. I think it's something, and let's give them a round of applause. And the TS, as Dr. Coleman is speaking with me here, in April, the Tennessee School Board Association puts out a magazine and newsletter, and y'all are going to be in that. And this will be statewide, so I'll get a copy of it, and I'll get what y'all want.
Thank you.
I can get you
Thank
some
y'all
copies
very much.
for it.
Thank y'all.
Do we have a motion to approve the policy 6.313 on the first reading, emergency reading? Motion by Mr. Clark. Second by Mr. Davis. Is there any discussion on it? It's a great policy. We really need that. It's an eye opener for me. All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. Motion passed. Thank you, girls, and Ms. Pell for being here again. Thank you very much. Okay. Good. Director of Instruction, Dr. Rebecca Burton.
Just a few things from the instruction department. First of all, our teacher of the years for the district level were honored yesterday at our principals meeting, and we had several board members present, so we want to thank those of you who were able to come yesterday. Thank you for that. And also, just to let you know, very soon you're going to see a billboard on Highway 51. We currently have one that's facing southbound in Brighton. The new billboard is going to be on the other side, so you'll see it coming northbound. And it will have all of our teachers of the year, all of the school level teachers of the year on it. And later on, we'll show you a picture of what that looks like. We would like to thank Ms. Sherry Yarbrough for, she was instrumental in getting that design for us. helping us get that going. So hopefully, that will be up, Dr. Combs, by
March.
March 1st or March, okay. Secondly, our district level principal of the year and supervisor of the year were selected yesterday at our principals meeting, so I want to congratulate Miss Marissa Richardson at Montville Elementary. She was named the district principal of the year, and Miss Sharon Ballou, our 6 through 12 special ed supervisor, as supervisor of the year. And we know that they're going to represent us well as they move on to the next phase of the selection process, so congratulations to them. A couple of other notes. Textbook adoption hearings were held January the 30th. This year we're looking at social studies and foreign language, and the committee will reconvene on March 14th to adopt those materials. And then the last thing, we have been working on our electronic exit survey when people leave the district, and we're hoping we'll be able to use that this spring as folks resign or retire or whatever the case is. They'll receive an email that has a link to complete the survey, so hopefully this will improve our response rates. And I know, Mr. Vincent, that was something that you had asked us about maybe back in August. So we have that. We think it's up and ready for us to be using this spring. And that's all I have, unless somebody has questions.
Anybody have any questions for Dr. Ballou? Thank you, Dr. Ballou.
Thank you.
Director of Operations Report, Dr. Charlotte.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I've got several things and several individuals that are here with me tonight. But first, just for your information, we have determined our open enrollment slots for the 2019-20 school year. And the following schools will be closed: Atoka Elementary School and Munford Middle School. Both of those schools will be closed for open enrollment, just to make you very aware of that. So we'll begin our process with applications and all of that, okay? Also tonight, we have Mr. Jeff Morris, Supervisor of Transportation. He will come to share our current bids for the upcoming school year. Mr. Morris.
Good evening. I think you have received in your packets bid information on the buses that we opened bids on January the 31st. We'll start with our 78 passenger transit buses. We received 2 bids. One bid was from Central States, who manufactures Bluebird buses. Those 78 passenger transits, their bid was $93,813. We're looking to purchase 6 for a grand total of $562,878. Mid-South Bus, the manufacturer of Thomas buses, came in with a bid of $91,979 for a grand total of $551,874. The bids were, fairly close, $834 per bus difference in those 2 bids per bus. The major difference in the buses, as far as the specs are concerned, we requested, as the majority of our buses are, with brown seats and tan floors. Bluebird met that. Thomas did not. They bid black seats and gray floors, but that's the basic difference there. So you have those 2 bids before you. So to be perfectly honest, one's just about as good as the other. And, I can live with the different color seats and floors for a difference in the price. Especially when we're talking about taxpayer money.
You've heard the bids from Mr. Morris. Do we have a motion?
I make a motion to approve the bid for Thomas Mid-South Bus Center.
Okay. Motion by Mr. Clark, second by Mr. Burrow, to accept the Mid-South Bus Center Thomas bids. It's $834 difference in the prices. Okay, is there any more discussion?
It's $1,834, that's what it is.
1,800.
Yes.
I came up to $59.95.
And,
And the total, if you add up the 6 78 passenger vans plus the sped preschool bus.
We're just going.
we're doing just the transit buses
right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those were 2 separate bids.
I'm with you.
Okay.
Okay, $1,834
Per unit
per
difference.
bus difference. Okay, is there any more discussion? Do we have, all those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
no, motion passed, okay.
And we also requested bids for a preschool or sped bus. It can be we utilize with a preschool or be utilized with our special education transportation. We received again 2 bids for those. First from Central States Bluebird, $62,991. Mid-South Bus, their Thomas Bus, and the sped preschool for $68,000. Those matched up pretty evenly as far as the bid specs. So it would definitely be my recommendation to move forward with the sped preschool bus from Central States and Bluebird for the difference in price.
You've heard the bids on these, do we have a motion to approve Central States? A motion by Mr. Burrow, a second by Mr. Joyner. Is there any discussion on this bid? Those in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. Motion passed.
Thank you. And Mr. Chairman, if I may, I just want to introduce somebody that's kind of new to our department. Mr. Charlie Ligon is right here. If you want to stand, most of you may know Charlie, but he's come into our department since the beginning of August, the school started. Came to us from the Covington Integrated Arts Academy, and he's been a real asset to our department. And we're just glad to have him, and I just wanted him to come and kind of introduce himself to you all tonight, if you don't know him, and just tell you that we're quite proud to have him as part of our Department of Transportation.
Thank you, Mr. Morrison.
Thank you.
For the job well done.
Mr. Donnie Wallace is gonna come with a construction update.
Thank you, Dr. Bishop. Good evening. Good evening. I think last time I was here was in December, and of course, y'all remember that, we approved the contract with A2H, for the design of additions to the field house at Covington High School. Of course, you know, in December, we really didn't have a whole lot of time to get the topographical survey and everything for the Covington Planning Commission, to approve it. The survey was conducted, and, the site plan was approved in the February commission. Last week, we met with A2H, their electrical, mechanical, and structural engineers to go over any issues that might come up, as basic design. Of course, one thing that come up, it looks like, the structure can't hold the rooftop units. So maybe we'll have to work that out on where we're gonna place those. One option is, of course, beef up the structural beaming where you can find them on the roof, which that's where they really need to be to get off the ground. We're just gonna put them on the ground, may not have a choice. This week, we met with Covington Electric System, on the power requirements, locations, on how we're gonna bring power into the concession stand, and, the additions over across the street at the main building. Also this week, we met with Mr. McClain and Mr. Croson at Brighton High School's concession stand to go over any concerns and recommendations for their buildings. Our goal is to start construction of the building in late April, have the concession stand ready for the first ball game, in August. And then, of course, the rest of it, will be done this summer while school's out. The other notes I have is the field committee voted to turn over the property to the school system. After we done the survey, there's 9 parcels in that piece of property. So the committee's attorney has to go through each one of them to make sure there's no return clause in that deed to go back to the heirs or owners. I don't know exactly where we are on that yet.
I'm waiting on a call back from
Of course, the city of Covington won't issue a building permit until that's resolved. You got 2 choices there: you move the building back or wait till the project becomes part of the school system. Any questions?
When was the last time, Mr. Owen? I was thinking they had already got that.
They went ahead and did the vote.
Oh, okay.
Got the piece of land over, we're good, but there are, they have to kind of look at and make sure they're not on anything and all that kind of thing. That's what he's dealing with now.
Oh,
They don't have that full bill. They're deep in over.
Pretty much done deal as long as.
Yes, sir.
Probably just a title search. We're very appreciative.
Would you go ahead and start some of the demolition and that kind of stuff?
Well, I mean, we wouldn't wanna do that until school's out anyway. I mean, cause you'll disrupt the whole school system there doing that. I mean, you got graduation to deal with, so you're gonna need restrooms, during graduation.
Do you feel like you can finish that project during the summertime? Is there a schedule?
If everything goes right, of course, I know Dr. Combs can remember when they built 6 classrooms on Brighton Middle School. We started the footings in June and moved in August 3rd. So, and that was a whole lot more involved than what we're doing here.
I want to make sure, did I hear you say that y'all looked at Brighton's concession stand too? Is that right? So,
Well, the one that up here is basically, same footprint as that.
that's what they use for repairs. I got you. I didn't know if they needed some help either. I heard that, I didn't understand.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
Any other questions for Mr. Wallace? Mr. Wallace?
Thank you, sir.
All right. Last month, we shared a request from the YMCA to share their programming and the opportunity to partner with Tiffin County Schools to provide childcare services for our students. I realize some of our parents have contacted you as board members with concerns, and some have reached out to me as well. And as you can see tonight, with this representation, that this is very important to our parents, to our community, and to our current staff and caregivers. We do realize that this presentation is for information to you as a board to be shared with you, and as such, I would like to share what one parent has written. Since I'm reaching out to you in regards to the proposed changes to the after-school program that is available to my child and future children at Polk Elementary School, I have seen information floating around on Facebook groups where the YMCA is potentially going to take control over the before and after care programs along with the summer program. I've even seen proposed pricing where there is considerable increase in prices. I realize it's not always so simple as to just not increase prices or take any action, as the school program probably isn't sustainable in its current form. But I do really hope that you and the other board members take into consideration and explore all possible solutions that might be more helpful financially to the families that use the program every day. And of course, there is a thank you. So as we move forward tonight, I would like to present Mr. Justin Inskeep and his staff from the YMCA, who will share what their proposal would be to you as board members.
Let me say that this is just for informational purposes, that Dr. Fisher said we won't take any action on this tonight. And I'd also like to thank everyone that came tonight and was concerned about it. And this is a very good presentation for what Dr. Coleman had told me. It's a lot of information, and we'll have time to make a good decision. So thank all the people that came tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Fisher. Appreciate you. Dr. Combs, thank you for the opportunity. And ladies and gentlemen of the board, appreciate the opportunity to stand before you today. As she mentioned, I'm Justin Inskeep. I'm the VP of Operations at the YMCA Memphis and Mid-South. As she mentioned, our leadership team is really excited to be here today. To my left, which you'll be hearing a little bit more from our VP of Youth Development here in a moment. But what I'd just like to mention is the Y is just really, really excited to offer a profound opportunity to every child, every family in Tipton County to come in and lead a strategic partnership with y'all and the community behind us, to lead efforts and change lives and make profound differences through youth development, healthy living, and social responsibility. But more importantly, a strategic partnership to lead our before and after school efforts that have continued to grow, and congratulations for all the sustainability that this great program has had. But we're very passionate about offering an opportunity, and you'll see in a moment the vision of the Y and some other opportunities that you'll see. We would love to answer any questions in a moment. So I come before you as a passionate leader of the YMCA, but I also come before you as a parent of 2 beautiful children that go to Munford Elementary and Munford Middle School. We've been here for 4 years. The Y brought us down to Tipton County. We chose Tipton County for a multitude of reasons, but more importantly because of the academic achievement opportunities for our children. So we've been here for 4 years. Our daughter, Kennedy, she's 12. She goes to Munford Elementary. Her son Boston, he's 9. He goes to Munford, her daughter goes to Munford Middle. Her son goes to Munford Elementary. And let me just say, Mrs. B. We all know Miss B. She is the most forward-thinking, most energetic, visible principal that I have ever seen. So congratulations to you all for hiring her and keeping her here. Also, our children were involved in the SACC program. It's a very important program. We know that kids and families need a high-level, caring environment for their children to go to every day. So as I mentioned before, we're really excited just to offer our vision, some opportunities that you may or may not have ever heard about at the YMCA. And finally, before I show you the slideshow, and then I'll give an opportunity for our VP of Youth Development to talk a little bit about the slideshow. But of course, I want to be upfront and recognize that there is some concerns, okay? We've been very intentional with listening to those concerns, but also I think that you'll find in just a moment that those concerns that are very valid to the community, and the staff teams, and the parents that came out tonight, to see that the Y will be very, very intentional with pricing. The Y never turns anybody away due to financial inability, so we have a model in place that will never turn anybody away, so there's no financial barriers for parents. That's one thing that the Y prides itself on. And then secondly, the beloved staff team that I see several faces that when I drive through the car line every morning and drop our son off, I see a lot of the faces. Miss Mary, right? I see her every day. I see that lady back there too. And I know they're a fixture in this community. And the last thing that we want anybody to think is the YMCA would come in and take them out to be a fixture. Because we know that they're connected with families, connected with y'all, and that's the last thing the Y ever wants to do. So with that being said, what I'd like to do is just show a brief slideshow. It will start with a video, and then I'm going to pass it over to our VP of Youth Development to go through the remainder of the slideshow, and then we'll finish up with our Child Care Operations Director, Ms. Berry. So if you wouldn't mind, go ahead and play this. Before I give the opportunity to our VP of Youth Development, it's imperative that I do mention, and I leave you with this, is the YMCA currently serves over 3,000 children on a daily basis through before and after school programs, through day camp programs, through feeding programs, through youth mentoring programs. So the Y is ready for a robust partnership, and we feel like we can really serve the needs of your community. Thank you, and I'd like to introduce Kirsten Gray, our VP of Development. Thank you so much.
Good evening and happy Valentine's Day. What a sacrifice to be here. I'm sure you have loved ones and family who appreciate you being here. I know we do. So again, my name is Kirsten Gray. I'm proud to be the Vice President of Youth Development for the YMCA Memphis in the Mid-South. I'm so proud of this YMCA, but I'm so much more proud about the families and the communities that we serve. So I'm here just to really touch more on the basics and the logistics and probably a lot of the questions that everyone in this room has. So first off, all of our programs focus on some core areas. We really make sure that we're intentional about obviously homework assistance, STEM, arts education, leadership development, social emotional learning, and literacy and math support. These are very strong, both curriculum aspects and activity aspects we weave into all of our programs through enrichment. We do this intentionally to really help the child thrive, the family thrive, so when the child goes home, their homework is done, and hopefully they've had an enriching experience where they've gotten to participate in a sport they normally wouldn't have. I myself am a parent of a toddler, so I know by the time I pick him up and I'm home by 6:30, there's not a lot of time for the other stuff. So at the Y, we're very intentional about trying to weave those in. So how do we do that? We do that through enrichment-based programming that allows you to participate in exploring new interests, developing new skills. For us, the Y Care is a place where families in school are connected into a greater community. And I want to focus on the word connect. We truly want to connect and be part of the community, part of the school, part of the families. We don't want to be a vendor. We don't want to be someone on the sidelines. We want to dig in, support the families, support the schools. I touched on our enrichment options. A lot of our enrichment options, that's what we pride ourselves being able to bring to a school district and to the families that we serve. It's the ability for their child to participate in a science action club, to participate in a leadership club, to learn speech and debate, to participate in a sport they normally wouldn't be able to in the after school hours, do arts and music lessons, classes, explore new interests. We bring on-site guest speakers, we do on-site special events. We do camp field trips, camp swim, and then one of the things we're most proud about is we do safety around water lessons. These are swim lessons, both that are both in the water and on ground to keep kids safe so that we can fight this epidemic of youth drowning. All of our day campers receive these lessons for free. They receive 8 lessons because we don't want to see any child in a pool suffer in any body of water on our watch or outside of our watch. So our saying is, when school's out, the Y is in. We offer year-round programming. Things that we do is obviously before and after school care. That's what everyone's seeing right now throughout the school year. We also do school closure and holiday camps. Winter break, fall break, spring break, Columbus Day, any day that the school is closed, we're in session. But also one of the things that we realize out of a need are the snow day camps. These are those emergency days where the school district has to close, the roads are icy, but parents still have a need to go to work. And while the last thing they want to do is put their child in a car and maybe commute farther than they would have liked to with them, we offer free camps on these days. We don't want it to be a financial hardship for a family to have to pay for an additional day of camp. So we offer we open in partnership with the school, local churches, and our local YMCA emergency day camps during these days, so parents who need to can still go to work and know that their children are in a safe place. And then of course, summer day camp. That's where I personally got my start in the Y, as a summer day camp counselor 19 years ago. I've been at this movement for 19 years because it changed my life personally, and I can't wait to change more kids' lives. So let's talk about the staff. Probably one of the biggest things we always think about whenever we think of the transition. How is this going to impact the staff? We've been very, very proud to partner with multiple school districts, and we can say that we have never, ever not considered a school district candidate that is currently with the school district's existing program, whether it was in the district or a other partnership with another organization. We've always considered those employees first, offering them positions and making sure that they were able to be financially stable through the transition. Our staff overview is we offer a dedicated full-time benefited Tipton County Child Care Director position. This is a person who'd be in partnership with your principals, with your district, and with your schools to make sure that everything's running seamlessly, all programs are meeting all standards, and all children are well cared for. We offer competitive staff compensation, and I know that can be cliche. Competitive, what does that mean? We have in every single case of partnering with the school district either met or exceeded the staff compensation rates. We understand that SIM staff, due to tenure with the organization, have a higher rate of pay. We have always met that and honored that. We keep in mind things such as if they were accruing overtime previously, we honor that as well. We have found that most of our frontline entry-level caregiver staff have ended up coming in as group leaders with the YMCA at a higher rate of compensation than they typically were starting out with their previous organization. We also offer comprehensive benefit plans. We have a YMCA retirement fund, which is eligible for all employees. Upon 2 years of qualifying service, they are automatically vested into our retirement fund, where the YMCA contributes 12% of their annual salary on top of their salary with no requirement for a matching gift. And if they were to ever leave the YMCA, that full amount is theirs because they are fully vested. Once you're in the Y retirement fund, you're in the Y retirement for life. They receive complimentary YMCA membership. That is good throughout the valley, throughout Memphis, throughout wherever they go that we have a YMCA. Nationally, if they travel to visit a friend or cousin in Nashville, the YMCA membership goes with them. We have employee discounts. All of our part-time and full-time staff receive free before and after school care for their children. They receive generous discounts off summer day camp. It's a great way for us to make sure that they are always taken care of and that because they know that they have their own peace of mind for their own children. Then we offer additionally optional medical benefit upon qualifications, and that we afford our HR team that we do have part-time and full-time benefit packages available for all individuals who qualify. And one of the things that we're proud of is we have been able to change the tide on staff turnover rates. Nationally, childcare industries, childcare organizations are suffering because of the high turnover. And that's hard on the families. Caregiver they love today had to leave tomorrow because they had to find a better job, then this job wasn't gonna go full-time. So we've been very, very intentional about creating comprehensive training plans and development plans. In January, we were able to promote 4 staff into full-time positions who are in part-time positions at sites as a leadership growth opportunity. And all of these individuals started as group leaders. And within 2 years, they were able to attain a full-time position and are pursuing a career in the Y. That is what I'm proud of, making pathways for individuals to grow. So let's talk about pricing plans. This is obviously for families with the biggest impacts. And so these are proposed pricing. I want to let you know that we always work with every school district to make pricing plans that work for them. None of our school districts have the same pricing plan. Some have similar. So if you look online, it can be a little hard to decipher because we work with so many different schools and so many different communities. So the pricing plans vary by site. We currently have 42 sites throughout the Mid-South, and so you'll see, based on district, different pricing plans. This is what we propose for Tipton County. This is exactly comparable to what the parents are currently paying. We also are honoring sibling discounts. We traditionally haven't done that, but we have decided that for Tipton County, it's so important because there are so many multi-children families in this community. Honoring sibling discounts is something that would be continued.
Do you know would the sibling discounts be comparable to what's currently being charged?
We do commit to working with the school district to do the comparable sibling discount plans.
That's another question about the partial plan. Some parents have expressed concern about no partial payments.
So one of the things, and they made the slideshow all fancy, so things only come up at once. So I'm actually going to jump off down to the for all slide. And so one of the things that we pride ourselves on is making sure that we work with families to meet them where they are financially in need, but also where their need is. So for example, if a family only needs care 3 days a week, all of our plans are weekly rates. But let's say they only need care 3 days a week, and it's a financial hardship for them to pay for those other 2 days. We would come in through our Open Doors program and help subsidize those other 2 days for them to help get them to that rate. Our Open Doors program also gives scholarships and fee assistance to the full-time rates as well. So we are committed to making sure that families are not seeing an increase in rates through this transition.
One other question. I noticed on your website, I think it had information about income-based prices as well. Would these prices that you're putting up here now, they don't include any income-based change like for Tipton County, do they?
So these do not include income-based. So what we do is we call it barrier-free income rate pricing. all families have to do, and I see this every single day because my office door right outside of it is the billing center. There's an online form. Parents fill it out, they state their income, they state their need. Within 24 hours, a scholarship is awarded to that family and a rate is negotiated with them. It's barriers free, we're not making them come down and wait in line with copies of their taxes and their paycheck stubs. We do it immediately, we meet them at it. So these are the base rates. These do not reflect any of the scholarships, fee assistant, or income-based pricing that we offer as well. And the reason we can do that is because we have a wonderful volunteer board that goes out and fundraises that money on behalf of our families. The Millington YMCA alone raised over $100,000 last year to help offset scholarships like these, and that's local in your community.
My grandson does 3 days a week. Is there pricing for that, or is they pay for the whole week?
There's not set pricing, so I tried touching on it. It's a little bit hard sometimes, the nuances, but yes, we would work with your grandson. So all of our rates are 5 days. So if something changed, maybe your daughter, is it your daughter or your son? Your son. So your son's sick. And so maybe on the day that you normally pick up from school, he can't because he has a flu. Your grandson can still attend. But to help match that rate to where it was, that's where we have our Open Doors program, that we can offer those program discounts and fee assistance to bring the rates down. We work with families individually on that to make sure that we are able to support the entire family in it.
I'm a little lost on Open Door. Could you explain that to me more?
Open Doors is the YMCA's way of saying that we don't turn away anyone, our doors are
All right,
open.
I understand that, but I'm talking about the 3 day a week. How does that help that person
So for
lower
example,
their rate?
so a family could go on, and so let's say our before and after rate is $70 a week.
Right.
That includes 5 days a week of care. And currently, maybe with Tipton County, they're on the 1 to 3 day a week rate. They could go on, and then all they need to do is contact our billing office, fill out the assistance form, and then just put in, there's a note section to put, I only need 3 days a week, and you work with our pricing, and we will work with and honor and lower that pricing by adding the fee assistance on to cover it. That's our way of bringing it down to match
You
that
say
rate.
it's comparable to what they're paying now, so that would pretty much be the same as they're paying for 3 days now. And all they have to do, to make sure I'm clear about this, is to go to y'all and apply for assistance.
So if they go on and they apply, and so I'm looking to my senior VP to make sure that I'm accurate in this, so all they need to do is go in and apply, and we will work with all families.
And the benefit would be that you get to use 5 days a week rather than the 3. So if your days change or whatever happened, you're still. The rate would be. The reason why we do weekly fees is so that we don't have to actually keep attendance and make sure that a child's only coming one day or the other day. We do one weekly fee, and whatever that price is, and in these situations, we would offer that price, and whatever that price is, then they would be able to attend 5 days a week.
Okay, my next question about that is, if you don't qualify, if you make, let's just say, too much money for financial assistance, is that gonna require these families to pay the 5 days?
No.
So it's not based on financial need?
It's both financial and family need. So if the family need is for 3 days a week, then that is where that Open Doors program comes in. That is, if their family need is, we truly only need 3 days a week. We have a lot of families who, I understand maybe, mom's a nurse and only works Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and those are the shifts she has, and those are the only days that she needs care. We understand that.
It seems like it might be easier if you could go ahead and set up on the front end a 3 day rate. I think that would ease a lot of people's minds to know exactly if they can get that.
And we hear you, and so what we're doing is this is our traditional model, and so I want to go back and say, these are the proposed fees. We work with every single school district. A little bit, you're going to get to, in just a few minutes, you're going to hear from Sandra Berry, and she can testify that we will work with the district on approved pricing to start with. We will work in conjunction with the district on these pricing plans. And if that's what it comes down to, if it makes it easier to understand for the families, we are completely open to having the partial week rate. Traditionally, we have not done that because we've done it through other means, just based on our traditional state pricing model. It doesn't mean that we can't do it. We're completely open to doing it.
Another question. I know some people have expressed concern also about, I know you talk about people who are already working in the program now, giving them an opportunity to apply and all that kind of stuff. I know you handle some of the municipal school districts around, like Millington and Arlington. Have you been doing them since the beginning, or did you go in and take over? Is there some place locally you've gone in and taken over an existing program and run it in the Y's?
I believe all of our school districts we took over from.
Okay, well, my question then is, do you have any idea about what the percentage of the people who were working in the system got hired into the Y system to work with them?
So what I will say is, and I'm going to put an asterisk to this, 100% of all individuals that wanted to come over to the Y and qualify, meaning that they passed the background check and the drug screening, were able to come. So the qualification is not having them re-qualify with specific degrees, specific education, specific experience. If your school district already honors them as an employee, as long as they pass a background check and a drug screening, we have brought over 100% of those employees. And I can tell you that for a fact right now because I'm working at the church that we're opening an early learning center with, and I just dropped off job offer letters about 2 hours ago to 100% of the employees that chose to stay with the Y, and they're doing their tentative based on their drug screening and their background check clearing.
Would any of those people take a pay cut?
No. In fact, most of the staff were able to increase minimally 25 to 50 cents an hour.
Is our qualification standard pretty much the same right now?
All of our staff meet the same DHS standards. So if they qualify to work in a licensed after school program for the district, they qualify to work for a licensed after school program with the Y. So that's why I'm saying the qualification for the Y is being able to pass a drug screening and a background check, which we're confident that all your wonderful caregivers would be able to do.
Dr. Fisher, may I ask you a question? I don't know if I'm putting you on the spot here. I don't know if it's you to ask, but I know occasionally we probably have to have an increase in fees for school, after school childcare. So how often does that happen for us?
It has not happened.
It has not happened.
Recently. We've only in the past 5 years had maybe one increase.
Yes, it is.
It just happened.
It just happened.
In the past 5 years, we've had one increase.
Yeah.
How about
This
you
year.
all? Since you opened in a school district or took over a school district, what about your increases in rates since we've only had 1 in 5 years? How many of you
So I'm
had?
going to defer to Brian. I just moved here from Arizona a few months ago with the Y movement, and so Brian he's the one who first brought on the school district, so I'll let him answer that.
We have not had a price increase actually in our summer day camp last year and this year, but we were charging over $100 and we just brought all of the rates down. It's $25 a week. So we haven't had an increase, we've had a decrease in all of our pricing across the association and across all of our sites. We had, when we went into the Bartlett School District, which was now almost 4 years ago, we have not increased pricing at all in that district. We've kept those prices.
Now, with this, talking about the pricing and so forth, is there any area where the price would go up for parents? Summer camp?
So our summer day camp rate is $10 a week higher. I will let you know though that this includes field trips, it includes swimming, it includes the camp shirt, and it includes the enrichment club that per our earlier conversations with Dr. Fisher were charged a la carte to parents. So if a family wanted to do the field trip, they paid for that separately. Our $85 a week includes all of that, and parents are still able to apply for the financial assistance for day camp as well. Once they're approved, they can apply it year-round.
Do you have any diversity among your staff?
Yes, we have a very, very diverse staff. I would say probably 60 to 65% of our staff is African American. I'd say about 5 to maybe 10% is Asian American. And so we do have predominantly a very diverse staff. We try to also replicate the community by seeking out the caregivers and families in that community to serve.
If we went with the Y, would the director, the person ultimately in charge, be coming from outside as well, or would it be someone within Tipton County?
Our goal is always to hire a community member who resides in that community. And so we would look first for a candidate in Tipton County, whether it's someone currently with the school district, whether it's someone outside the school district who meets the qualifications. We very, very intentionally look inward to every community to promote from within, whether it's from our own organization or another organization. And our expectation, if we were to ever be in a position to have to bring someone in from outside of Tipton County, would be that they reside and live in Tipton County.
One of the questions along that line, do you anticipate adding staff with the current numbers that are participating now, or reducing staff? Do you have time to study that?
We haven't been able to, because we wanted pending board approval to start, looking into that. We haven't gotten that deep into it, but we would definitely not be decreasing the staffing roster at all. In fact, I think with the current crisis in childcare staffing across both Tennessee and the country, we would most likely be looking at adding staff, having additional substitutes ready, different support staff ready throughout the program.
How do you evaluate the effectiveness of the program?
So we do a few different things. We do, obviously, we have parent, principal, student surveys. We also, through the YOSA, we have access to other surveys that we can do things that help gauge the social and emotional effectiveness of the child, whether the program that we're doing is assisting. We partner with different survey companies. We do SEER surveys to gauge satisfaction, but then we also do surveys with students. And one of the things we're doing in launching our Science Action Club is students would take a pre, a mid, and a post quiz, if you will, to see how they enjoy the activities, but also if they gained information. I will let you know that this is new. We are just in the process of launching this here in Memphis. I did it in Phoenix in a very urban area, and then I did it in Yuma, which is a very rural area of Arizona. And we saw that females who participated in the survey showed a 16% increase of interest in science-based careers, which is important because there's going to be 1 million careers in STEM one day, and they say that only 1% of them will be filled by females, and we are determined to change that statistic here in the line.
Oh, go ahead.
How much staff training?
So we
As far as preparing them to work with STEM and all the other activities that they'll be working with. Also about guest speakers, what's some of your guest speakers?
So we bring in, so we go to staff training first. And so for staff training, we meet all of DHS training requirements, as well as we offer internal YMCA trainings. We look for our program directors and our child care directors to have some area of specialty, whether it is STEM, whether it's social emotional learning, and we do trainings from within. All of this is paid time for the employees to go. We train them, and then when we roll out curriculum, they do staff meetings to learn the curriculum they're rolling out. And typically at each site, we'll find a staff who's very maybe passionate about arts education, and they might be our arts expert. They would get their curriculum in advance to be able to review it. It comes with some very clear guidelines on how to talk about the curriculum. When I say curriculum, it's a fancy word. It means the program plan, the activities. We're not having them sit down with books. We do for literacy. We're not having them take tests. We're having them go outside and shoot off bottle rockets, build volcanoes, do chemical reactions, do gravity and physics, and so we do all those type of things. That's hands-on learning.
Speakers.
Oh, the guest speakers. So we partner with local municipalities to bring in, the obvious are, the police, fire, local municipal services to explain those. We also work with one of the great things about the Y is we have reached out to the community. So we try to bring in speakers to talk to the kids about social media awareness, safety around water. We bring in athletes. Sometimes we often get contacted by athletes from the University of Memphis or other organizations, and they'll come in and speak to the kids about why they chose to go to college or what route they took. We also do career portions where we try to bring in career professionals from other careers that maybe the child never thought about exploring to do career demonstrations. So maybe the child didn't know they wanted to be a botanist, but after hearing from the Memphis Botany Society, it sounds kind of cool. Maybe they want to go down that path.
I have just one more question. I appreciate your responding to all this.
Oh, it's what I love.
You may want to answer it, or perhaps one of your VPs, but my deal, bottom line is, if people currently, people, especially people like me, because I'm old, have problems with change sometimes. And a lot of people have problems with change. If things are going well, they're happy with it, they've made relationships and things like that. To change something like this is a pretty big deal. So my question is this, if people are currently happy with the program, but if we went with the Y, fees are gonna be comparable, people are going to be hired at about 100% clip, who are currently working through the system, and all that, what is the bottom line reason we should go with it?
Because, and I guess the underlying question is, why does the Y want to come to Tippecanoe County, right? What's in it for us? What's in it for us is that we are a mission-driven organization. We are a cause-driven organization. We thrive when our communities thrive. Our Millington YMCA, which is your closest YMCA, thrives when your community thrives. When your kids see an opportunity in STEM, we have a new success. When your kids love the program, they become a leader in training. They become a camp counselor. They grow. So the reason the Y wants to come in is because we genuinely care about communities. We are a nonprofit. We know in this community, in this state, in this region, we've been blessed. In some ways, we feel it's almost providential, the doors that have opened for us. And I can tell you the reason we're lowering camp prices from $115 to $85 to $95 throughout Tennessee this summer is because we want parents to have access. We are mad that families can't access summer day camps that are all-inclusive. And I'm not saying that your Tipton County isn't already doing that, but for us to be up here is a way that we can serve our community. Tipton County is part of our service area. We care about Tipton County. It's a way for us to be up here. It is a way for us to serve your families. It's a way for us to help bridge the gap between recreational services, getting families engaged. It's our mission. It's why I've worked with the Y for 19 years. It's not for a paycheck, I can promise you that. It's because I care.
Got one more question. Transportation for all of the different activities that you're participating in. Do you work with the county, or you plan on you all provide your own transportation?
So for summer camps, we currently provide our own transportation, but we prefer to go to the school district first. If the school district is interested in partnering, it's a great way for bus drivers to stay employed throughout the summer. We'd love to essentially lease out your existing fleet and drivers, have them work for us for the summer to help generate some additional revenue for the district, but also keep those bus drivers going throughout the summer. It works really well for us. But there's also a need for you guys to repair your own buses over the summer. So we do lease buses and bus drivers, and we'll bring them in as well if that's a need. Again, working with the district to what's most important.
In your program, have you been able to observe any academic improvement?
Yes.
Yes.
Funny you asked that. Program outcomes. Student and family outcomes, 54% of youth, and this is, I pulled the statistics regionally for comparable YMCA programs in school districts to this, what's considered the southeastern section of the United States. 54% of students showed improved social emotional skills. 53% showed an increase in school attachment, and with this comes increase in attendance. 54% saw improved school conduct. 53 saw increased self-efficacy. So all of these are indicators when children are more engaged, the social emotional skills are built, when they're attached to their school, they want to be at school, they learn more, they enjoy learning, test scores go up, they absorb more. We also saw, there's also, and I don't have the statistics on these two, but we do know it's true that there's a decrease in parental work absences. A lot of that's because of our snow day count care and making sure we always have the Y care open when there's a need, and also increased family time. So when families go home at the end of the day, they're not still trying to fight homework. It's bath time, book time, dinner time, the time that really matters.
Are there any other questions for Ms. Gray?
It was believed that the Y supports Planned Parenthood. Is that true?
No. I can tell you our local YMCA of YMCA Memphis and the Mid-South does not support Planned Parenthood. So the YMCA, we are a big organization, so nationally YMCA is outside of our service area. They may, I can tell you no of our national dollars go to Planned Parenthood. Some YMCAs have chosen to partner with them on different programs, whether it's, sexual health awareness, things like that. But locally, and I think throughout the state of Tennessee, there's no existing partnerships. I will let you know, you know, and I hope this is acceptable, that we truly do believe we are a Christ-based organization. We put our Christian principles first. We have a Christian mission director. We're serious about keeping values at the forefront of our programming. Yet at that same time, we have Jewish kids, Hindu kids, Buddhist kids. They want to come, we accept all of them. We welcome them, and they're taught and encouraged just like every other child. And so I think the best way to wrap this up is I'm actually going to ask Dr. Berry, or going to ask Ms. Berry to speak very quickly before I know this meeting is going a little long. It's Valentine's Day, you want to get home to your sweethearts. But I think maybe hearing it directly from a principal. Cassandra Berry, she's our senior operations director. She's also the retired principal of Baldwin Elementary School. So she can probably maybe speak from a principal's perspective.
I'm going to be very brief, I promise. But I just wanted to share with you a little bit about my journey with Hawaii. I was the principal of Baldwin Elementary in Bartlett. It's the largest elementary school in Bartlett. I had about 900 children, but only 30 of my families were served in the before and after school program that I had. So I started looking into that because I had parents asking me, you know, we need care before and after school, and I'm like, well, we have a program. So I started looking into it and realized the engagement piece just wasn't there. It was more, let me sit back and watch the kids play, and that's not what the parents in my community wanted. So I started looking. I didn't want to run my own because I wanted to be educating children, and I wanted that to be my focus. I didn't want my focus to be managing employees before and after school and managing activities before and after school. I didn't want to juggle that many balls, to be honest. So I started looking. I met with Brian McLaughlin, and he shared with me pretty much kind of the same things that you all have seen. And so I did decide to go to Hawaii. We are now serving, 4th year into the program, we're serving over 110 children at Bon Lin. The other principals in Bartlett looked at the partnership that I developed with the Y, the things that they were doing with Bon Lin, got involved in my fundraising, sent people over for my career fair. Just the community partnership that I had with the Y, and they wanted it too. So all the schools in Bartlett now use the YMCA for their before and after school care. One of the things I really like about what we do with the Y is the piece that she mentioned with the surveys. It's important to hear from people. So all of the things that you're hearing from your parents right now, it's important that we address those. We know what those things are. I can promise you there was not a single thing that Brian told me was going to happen in my partnership with the Y that did not happen. If I had a concern, if I had a question, I know other principals that wanted certain staff members hired. The Y worked with them to make sure those staff were hired. I can promise you the integrity of what the Y is doing is the reason I'm working for them now. My journey didn't stop when I retired in June with the Y. I actually was lucky enough to be afforded a position working with them to work with school districts, with the ones that we currently have to make sure that our programs stay high quality, and with the school districts that we're about to bring in to make sure that all of the things that you all have in place that you like, we keep. The things that maybe aren't working so well, we work harder to make sure that those things come into fruition. So if you decide that this is what's best for your community, I look forward to working with you on your journey with the Y. Thank you.
Thank you all very much for being here tonight, and we'll take all this information under advisement. I'm sure Dr. Combs and Dr. Fisher and Dr. Bird, others will be calling with questions or whatnot. Dr. Combs, you want to add anything else to this?
I mean, I'll just say this, I mean, it's an informational meeting. I told a number of folks when I came in here that, you know, I mean, if we didn't reach out and see what other opportunities are out there, then quite frankly, I wouldn't be doing my job. So we're gonna look out and see what things are out there. There's no vote. We encourage all of you, you've heard all this, so we encourage all of you to contact your board member, let them know what you think. If there's something you have questions about or that you didn't agree with or you have a concern about, I'm glad you got to see all the information they provided, and quite frankly, it's the first time I've seen it too, so I'm glad I got to see that, to see what prices are. I know that was a big deal. But, you know, contact them and let them know. This is an informational meeting. There's no vote. We already talked about that. So include it. I mean, this is a community service. It's for you and your kids. So let's make sure we're picking the right thing. So let us know. I encourage you to do that, okay? Thank you. That's all I've got.
Okay, thank you all again.
Yes?
Quickly, and thank you. When will you be making a decision?
We don't know yet. There is no set date. May not make a decision at all this year, may stay with what we're doing for a while. We don't have a set date on any of that.
A couple of things, just to follow up, please. Where are the sites going to be? It sounded like there's a lot of busing. And also, and thank you for the information, but the website was very clear on some of the things that you presented on tonight that were in contrast to what was on the screen. So there are some concerns about, how long will, they said they would match, the prices. How long will that be in effect? Will it be 1 year? Will it be ongoing? I have a lot of questions, but the busing, the sites, where would they be?
Right where they are right now.
Yeah, my understanding is it'd be in the same schools they are right now. They would use our facilities.
Right now on the SACC, we don't have to, if they're not there for a full week, like vacation, summer, whatever it might be, we don't have to pay at all for those weeks. Looking at the site, it looks like you still have to pay for y'all, no matter if they're there or not, whatever their weeks are already.
So what I would say to that is that all of those concerns, will the prices increase, do I have to pay? All of that is worked out with the school district in order to match exactly what you're doing. And we enter into a contract with the school district, so we can't cut prices, we can't, move sites. We can't, say that if the school district is not, they do 1 week where it's free, if your kids don't come, and if that's in the contract, that's exactly what we follow. So, you don't have to worry about, will the prices go up, will any of that go up? Everything really is in a contract with the school board, and if anything changes, it has to go back to the school board. So we do this with, schools, so the county, Bartlett, if there's any change that has to be made, it has to go through, what we typically do is bring it to a parent advisory committee first, and then we'll bring it up to the school district, and then it has to be put to the school board before any changes are made to the original agreement.
We have one more question here.
Dr. Combs, you said that you weren't doing your job if you weren't seeking out. Are you seeking out other options other than the Y, or is the Y the only option at this time?
Number one, I said I'm seeking out all opportunities. They came to us.
Okay.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
So no, we haven't looked for anyone else. They approached us about this opportunity so that we brought it before y'all.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And when I say other opportunities, we've outsourced custodial, we've outsourced, there are a number of things you look at to see where dividing money and see what works better. But no, we haven't sought anyone else out. We didn't see YMCA out.
Okay.
Thank you all again for being here tonight. Thank you. Thank you.
We're happy to stay and answer questions concerning parents and staff members.
Okay. Dr. Fisher, do you have anything else? Your report?
Oh, no, sir, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, they will remain outside. Y'all want to dismiss and maybe talk to them out there? They'll be here. Yeah.
Hey, I will encourage you to do this though. Y'all, please give us feedback, okay? Seriously. Contact
Peggy Murdoch, financial report, your name.
All right, I have a couple of amendments that I need you guys to look at. The first one is the one that looks like this. It's our 141. We're trying to do a better job of getting these amendments taken care of so that there's not one massive one at the end of the school year. And if you can see, we have moved $551,500 out of the left and into the right. So basically what these are, and then we'll look at the documentation on the back of that. We have added $156,000 to technology devices, $100,000 into the technology piece and one into general instruction. We also had to move some money for travel in the supervisory lines. The travel includes hotels as well as conferences, and we've been trying to find out the best opportunities, and it takes money to go find those things. so we have to increase that. We had to move some money into the benefit side of the sped supervisory line with our, different psychology lines in there. We moved the, salary, but we did not move the rest of the benefit lines. So this $15,000 out of education, instruction sped is moved down to the supervisory sped, which is where our psychologists are. We also got word from the State Department that we had to move all of our social worker salaries and benefits out of 72,130 into 73,300. So you'll see that as we go through. We had to add $5,000 to fiscal hospitalization. There wasn't enough money in there. And we also added $130,000 into capital improvements in the general budget. So that's the reason for the amendments that you see. If you want me to go through the documentation piece, I can.
Are there any questions, Ms. Murdock, on the amendments? Do we have a motion to approve these amendments that she has presented? Motion by Mr. Farrell, second by Mr. Clark. Any other questions? Those in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, no motion passes.
Okay, and then I have a very simple one for federal. Oddly enough, the general was more complicated than the federal. Federal is moving money that they had to, take out of supplies and materials and into instructional materials. The federal government said, I don't like the way it's labeled, so we moved it. It also caused a decrease in indirect costs, but the monies are equal. And then in IDEA 1901, the feds said that they had to call transportation equipment in 729 instead of transportation equipment in 790. So we just moved those monies from the one spot to another. Same plan, same category, nothing has, no added money, no decreased money. In any of these, we haven't added or decreased any money in the budget. But I need an amendment for 142.
Do we have a motion for the amendment on the 142 federal fund? A motion by Mr. Jones, second by Mr. Farrell. Are there any questions? Ms. Murdock, all those in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. Motion passes.
All right, your regular financial budget, if you look at 141, you can see that we have received 9.9% of our revenue in the month of January, $8,309,535.48. That brings a total for the months from July through January, 58.6% of our budget. We're about 0.04% lower than we were last year. So neck and neck, there's no, no discernible difference there. Our expenditures for the year were at 48.8%, and for the month was 8.1%. So we're doing well as far as our revenues versus expenditures. Questions on 141? All right, the federal budget. In January, the federal budget received $499,553.30. That's 7.3% of their revenue, for a total percentage of their revenue for the year thus far, 40.3% for the revenues. Drop down to the January expenditures for federal budget, $469,580.58. That's 6.9%. You can look at the differences between the revenues and the expenditures. We're 0.6% higher on our expenditures. And I think it's just the time that they're coming through. We're obviously not overspending on federal money. Questions on 142? All right, the cafeteria. We have finally gotten some money from the state in our cafeteria budget, $685,621.60. That's 11.9% of their revenue. And then the expenditure side, they have spent $458,174, which is 8% of their expenditures. And you can see there is a discrepancy between revenues and expenditures, but the cafeteria fund is always like that. So they will catch up in the end, but it's a little off. Questions on 143? Last one, this is 177 capital projects. This, in January, we spent $15,250, all of that is to A2H. So, that was the only expenditure for this, and of course, there is no more money coming into that. Any questions about the financial report?
One, I just want to make sure I was clear on this. So
Okay.
Going back to 141.
Okay.
Budget, revenue, budget expenditures, are we, am I reading now, we're 500,000 behind right now, is that right, over our budget?
Tell me what you're
Spend-
talking.
I'm looking at the expenditures versus the revenue on the budget lines.
For, so like for the total,
Yeah, I'm just looking at totals, we don't have all the
right,
months.
you're, thus far, for July through January, we have received $49,321,651.
Right.
Okay, we've expended for the same amount of time,
Okay.
$41 million.
So it's just the opposite.
Yes,
So I was looking at the.
sir.
I
You were making
appreciate
me
it.
nervous,
That's
Mr.
fine.
Martin.
You
No,
were-
that's not right.
Big number there.
No, that's not right.
Good treat.
We are $8 million to good.
Okay, good deal, all right.
I mean, it'll be spent. Now, remember, don't worry about that. We have 4 payrolls to make in 1 week at the end, so that we have to have some reserve to pay that when that balloon payment comes. So that's why that is accruing as the months go by.
Thank you. for
Okay.
that.
Do we have a motion to approve the financial report as presented? I make that motion. Motion by Mr. Pearl, second by Mr. Clark. Are there any other questions?
No red flag, right?
No red flags. We're moving this around, so I think we're gonna be a little more in line on our final amendment come April, but I think we're good. The concern is to make sure we spend what we have, and I understand that that is your desire, and that's what our hope is to do.
I know you, Mr. Rogers, always on the spot.
Right.
You have your red flag.
No, I don't. I'm trying to cover them in that amendment, so I think we're good.
All in favor?
Thank you.
Any other questions? All in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. Motion passed. We have one bill, thank you, Mr. Martin.
Yes, sir.
We have one field trip request that's been signed off on. We need to approve it. Do we have a motion to approve the extra field trip that was in our package? Approved. Motion by Mr. Davis and second by Mr. Farrell. Are there any questions on? All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. Dr. Combs, you have anything you want to add tonight?
No, sir, y'all saw, no one really, only a couple of you asked me, but we did get, it was in the consent agenda, you did see where the Drummond's Lagoon deal was like, it's good to go. The mayor was awesome, I spoke with the mayor, we worked out, the contract together, so it's mutually beneficial, and so that worked great, so we're all good to go there.
One thing I wanted to ask.
Yes, sir.
The reason why, I mean, I know you didn't pursue them, but they pursued us. Have you looked at the benefit that it could, if we went with them, would it save us in the bottom line? How much, have you looked at the numbers yet?
That's an awesome question. We do not know that yet, because quite frankly, the first time that I saw their numbers was when y'all saw them right up here on the board. So I don't know what it would do for us or not. Right now, it's not like we make a lot of money with the SAC. It's a program for the community and for parents. And
Are we losing money? Are we losing money? And
We're breaking even.
Do we have an issue with?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Our current program is working just fine. Like I said, they pursued us, and the initial thing was, I think what they use a lot is we can offer more things than you do with the STEM thing, a lot of the after-school programs. So they included some of that information. But no, we're not unhappy with what we currently have. Like I said, we're not making any money on this. It's a community effort. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'd like to thank you for my wife's Valentine.
You're welcome. School board.
But if we have cars for swing too.
Where's the meeting tomorrow?
The meeting is just at the end of the building.
Where's that? That's right.
And I sent y'all an email
Before you get to
today.
the landfill on the right.
Yeah.
Before you get to the landfill on the right, that building off to the right, before you get to the landfill on 51 right.
I sent you an email. And I had your address on it.
It's really nice.
On that